How does a moment of utter defeat become a symbol of enduring hope? What transforms a colossal military disaster into a miracle of deliverance? In the late spring of 1940, on the blood-soaked sands of northern France, the world witnessed just such a paradox unfold. The evacuation from Dunkirk, an operation codenamed Dynamo, was not a victory in any conventional sense, but a desperate 9-day scramble for survival that would fundamentally alter the course of the Second World War, snatching the heart of an army from the very jaws of annihilation. The crisis that precipitated this extraordinary event began in the early days of May 1940, when the deceptive calm of the phony war was shattered by the roar of German engines. On the 10th of May, the German war machine launched its Blitzkrieg, a terrifyingly swift and coordinated assault into the Low Countries. This lightning war strategy saw 3 formidable panzer corps slice through the dense Ardennes forest, a region the Allies had mistakenly deemed impassable for tanks, and drive with relentless speed northwest towards the English Channel. The speed and ferocity of the German advance were overwhelming, catching the Allied forces completely off guard. By the 21st of May, a mere 11 days after the invasion began, the encirclement was complete. The British Expeditionary Force, known as the BEF, alongside the battered remnants of the Belgian forces and 3 entire French field armies, found themselves trapped, their backs to the sea along the northern coast of France. The German pincers closed with terrifying efficiency. The port of Boulogne fell on the 25th of May, followed by the strategic prize of Calais the very next day. With each fallen city, the trap grew tighter, the hope of escape dimmer. The capture of these key ports left only one viable exit for the hundreds of thousands of cornered soldiers, the small harbor and long sandy beaches of Dunkirk. It was here, in this final, precarious pocket of resistance, that the fate of the war seemed to hang by a thread. The complete destruction or capture of the BEF, Britain's only professional army, would have been a catastrophic blow, potentially forcing the United Kingdom to sue for peace. Even as the strategic situation deteriorated, plans for a rescue were already being set in motion in the secret corridors of power across the Channel. In a move of stark pragmatism, the British government had decided to launch Operation Dynamo even before the formal capitulation of their Belgian allies. The planning, which began on the 20th of May, was conducted with the utmost secrecy, so much so that the British did not even inform their French counterparts of the full scope of their intentions. The immense logistical challenge of the sea lift was handed to Vice Admiral Bertram Ramsay, who directed the operation from the naval headquarters buried deep within the chalk cliffs beneath Dover Castle, a nerve center that looked out across the very waters that would soon become a stage for both tragedy and triumph. Then, in one of the most debated and pivotal moments of the war, an unexpected reprieve came from the enemy itself. On the 24th of May, the German High Command issued a halt order, a command that stopped the advance of their victorious tank divisions for 3 crucial days. While the Luftwaffe, the German Air Force, continued to pound the Allied perimeter from the sky, the halt of the ground forces provided a desperately needed window of opportunity. This inexplicable pause gave the beleaguered Allied soldiers precious time to construct defensive works, shore up their lines, and pull back vast numbers of troops from the front lines into the shrinking Dunkirk Pocket, preparing them for the exodus to come. The evacuation officially began on the 26th of May. What followed was an astonishing feat of maritime improvisation. A hastily assembled fleet of over 800 vessels, a motley armada of staggering diversity, converged on the French coast. The backbone of this rescue force was comprised of 39 destroyers of the British Royal Navy, supported by 4 Royal Canadian Navy destroyers and at least 3 destroyers from the French Navy. These warships were supplemented by a variety of civilian merchant ships, ferries, and large troop transports. Yet the enduring image of Dunkirk is that of the little ships. Hundreds of small, privately owned craft, fishing boats, pleasure yachts, river barges, and lifeboats answered the call, sailing from the ports and estuaries of southern England into the heart of a war zone. Their role was absolutely crucial. The shallow waters of the Dunkirk beaches prevented the large destroyers and transports from getting close to shore. The little ships braved enemy fire and treacherous waters, acting as ferries, shuttling soldiers from the sand to the larger vessels waiting in the deeper channels. Many other troops were able to embark directly from the harbor's protective mole, a long stone pier that extended into the sea, providing a more stable, although dangerously exposed, platform for boarding. Over 9 harrowing days, under constant threat from air attack and artillery fire, this incredible fleet worked tirelessly. It is estimated that a full 2/3 of the rescued men were evacuated by the powerful destroyers of the Royal Navy and the large transport ships, which could carry thousands at a time. In total, the operation succeeded in rescuing a staggering 338,226 soldiers from the beaches and harbor. The human tide flowing back to Britain was immense, composed of approximately 198,000 British troops and further 140,000 French and Belgian soldiers who would live to fight another day. The deliverance, however, came at a devastating cost. During the brutal French campaign, the British Expeditionary Force lost 68,000 soldiers. The men who escaped were forced to abandon nearly all of their heavy equipment on French soil, leaving behind a landscape littered with burned-out tanks, trucks, artillery pieces, and supplies.
The Royal Navy, the shield of the operation, paid a heavy price for its bravery, with its most significant losses being 6 of its precious destroyers sunk in the Channel. The skies above were a constant battleground. The Royal Air Force lost 145 aircraft while providing air cover for the evacuation, while the Luftwaffe lost 156 aircraft in its relentless efforts to stop it. And for those who could not escape, the ordeal was far from over. The rearguard, composed of 40,000 valiant French troops who had fought to hold the perimeter and make the evacuation possible, was forced to surrender on the 4th of June. The grim arithmetic of the operation revealed that for every 7 soldiers who made it safely back to England, 1 man became a prisoner of war. The evacuation was undeniably a critical turning point. While it represented the culmination of a disastrous military campaign on the continent, the successful rescue of such a vast number of trained soldiers provided the United Kingdom with the manpower it needed to continue the fight. In a powerful speech to the House of Commons on the 4th of June, Prime Minister Winston Churchill perfectly encapsulated the profound duality of the event. He did not shy away from the harsh reality, frankly calling the circumstances a colossal military disaster. Yet, in the same breath, he captured the spirit of the nation and the profound relief felt across the Allied world, hailing the rescue of the army from the clutches of the enemy as nothing short of a miracle of deliverance. It was this miracle, born from defeat, that fueled the resolve to fight on, alone, until the day of final victory.
Thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, and comment with your thoughts or next video ideas.